This is the Odd Atheist Friends podcast. What you are about to hear is just the opinions of Matthew and Erik, who are the hosts. This podcast will talk about life, love, politics, religion, and whatever else runs around their heads in the moment. Their opinions are just that, opinions, and only their opinions. It does not represent anyone else but them at that moment in time. Not their significant others, family, friends, employers, companies, or anyone else that they might know. You are probably going to hear cuss words. The hosts cuss and really don't care if any guests cuss too. If you are offended by something, this probably isn't the podcast for you. But if you like what you hear, please keep listening.
Well, hello everybody out there. I can't fucking believe this. 12? Hi Erik, it's Matthew.
Hey Matthew, how are you?
12. I'm good. I'm just still amazed that we're doing this and we're growing in listeners and all that kind of stuff. I think we got 3.5 listeners now, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, I feel bad for the 0.5.
I don't know. I think we're starting to do better. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I just really kind of hope that people are kind of digging us and starting to listen more. So, we actually try hard to do entertaining stuff to hope that our conversations entertain. I don't know about you, but that's how I feel.
I don't give a fuck.
No. Okay.
I'm just kidding. I really, no, I do.
Oh, so what's going on over there in the Kakalakis?
It's hot as balls. That's about it, I guess. I don't.
This morning, the temperature was 75 and the dew point was 72. So that means it was muggy as fuck.
Yeah, it's been in like the high 90s and really, really humid here.
We had like 2 days of like moderate weather, and now we're back to holy fuck, it's hot and humid again. So we're supposed to be in the upper 80s here today with, I think humidity is supposed to be around that high. So it's...
I think it's great we're talking about the weather.
Yeah, no shit. A minute and a half in and we're talking about the weather.
Wow.
God, we suck.
We try real hard, guys.
Yeah, we try hard. So anyways, what I was thinking about talking about today is that, we talked a bunch about atheist shit in the past, and that's great. And we've had some really great guests, and we've got some great guests lined up for in the future here. I don't want to give too much away, but we got some good ones. And, but anyways, it's kind of colloquially attached to atheism, but it's not, because it's not. Atheism is pretty much just, I don't believe in God, okay? But I think there's a lot of stuff that really attaches to this, and one of that is that I really think that atheism today is more than just about atheism. At least it should be. I think it should be about humanism, as well as social justice. Now, I know we haven't really talked about it directly per se, but I think I've really kind of changed, even in the last year, to being more up on social justice issues. And I honestly think that that's the way to be. But we'll get into some of the social justice stuff later. But I'm really kind of happy as to how I'm changing and what I'm changing into. But one of the things that I think that we really need to talk about is a lot of this woo crap that's not exactly about religion, but kind of tangentially related. Stuff like aliens, which may or may not be possible. That is something that can be proven or not. But shit like fucking ghosts and demons and are Ouija boards actually evil and shit like that. And I think that's something that we need to talk about.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear your views on some of these, and I know I'm going to have some views that will probably surprise you. So,
Well, I don't necessarily mind a difference of opinion. I actually really kind of like it. As long as people are open to change, because I've had my mind changed. I've had my mind changed on stuff in the past recently. Like, for instance, I was at one time against GMOs, but I was listening to our guest Thomas Smith. He had a show on GMOs, and he had a GMO scientist on, and he changed my mind. Where I was actually swayed to, as at first I was like, no, GMOs are bad, and I'm like, no, GMOs are actually good. I changed my mind on GMOs, for instance. So as long as you're open to have your opinions changed, and this is where I like to have the difference. I like to say I have opinions and not beliefs. Opinions can be changed, beliefs cannot. It's very, very hard to change a belief. So, but one of the things I think that, and it took me a short while, and I literally mean a short while, when I went to Atheist, within a very few months, there was that 6-month period, I think, where I was just an atheist, and I didn't really have a lot of opinions on a lot of other stuff, but I was still really reading and listening to a lot of stuff. And when I went to anti-theist, a lot of stuff changed with that. Well, my opinion changed into being more anti-theist because I saw this tangential stuff, and it's like, it's all crap. Like, angels and demons and ghosts are entirely supernatural, and it's bunk. It's bullshit, and I don't know why people believe it, because it can be fucking proven that it's crap, and it has been proven it's crap. One of the other things, when it comes to aliens, now, aliens by definition are corporeal beings, you know what I'm saying? They're natural beings. They're not supernatural. They're natural. Whether or not they visited the Earth or not is another story. I'm still agnostic about that. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, but spirits, souls, angels, demons, ghosts, it's all crap. And it's entirely all crap. And we've had this thing of running around with these ghost hunter shows and all that kind of stuff. And, a lot of these places, you put metal inside walls for conduits and electricity running through it. And these people have got electromagnetic field readers. Well, Jesus, you got a fucking house with cables in it. Even if there's no power to it, the metal inside can still generate a field. So, yeah, you're sensing the metal inside the things. And if there's electricity in it, you're going to get stronger fields.
Yeah.
So, that's crap. And then they, it's funny because, it's like you see some of these shows and they go to like this, was it one I saw? It was like overseas in Europe, and to like a 500-year-old German monastery. And if the ghost was real, let's just suppose the ghost was real. They're speaking English to a 500-year-old ghost.
That's
really?
True. That's true.
And then they jump scare themselves, and then they run out. There's things like drafts and, things can shift around inside houses, settling and all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's rational explanations for all of it if time is taken to show it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times when they do these shows that they're pulling on, fishing line to get shit to move and that kind of stuff. That's been proven. They've proven that kind of stuff that, they've pulled on shit with wire, with cables, like fishing line and that kind of stuff that doesn't show up well on TV. These motes, I don't know what they call it, like orbs, I think is what they call it, that are floating around inside cameras and that kind of stuff when they take a picture. That's dust in the air reflecting.
Yeah.
It's It's not disembodied spirits. They have, in order to try to prove the existence of souls and all that kind of stuff, they say the soul leaves your body. And at the time of death, they've actually had people on scales.
Yeah.
And nothing changes. Do you know what I'm saying? The weight is exactly the same at the time of death to shortly after the time of death. The weight doesn't change. You know what I'm saying? And they've done studies in like trying to do like out-of-body experiences, and they've put like signs that could only be read if you were like above the sign, and they never see anything. Do you know what I'm saying? It's all crap, and I don't know why people believe this stuff. What's your opinion, Erik?
Okay, that was a lot. I'm
sorry.
Of stuff. No, it's okay. I just have to remember all the stuff. So
no, that's fine.
Aliens. I think they're a completely separate topic, because alien is just defined as any living thing that isn't from Earth. So like, I don't know, bacteria on Mars could be an alien, but yes. I'm sure it exists, you know. I'm sure life on another planet exists somewhere of some capacity.
I'm talking about like the Star Trek kind, or you know, Close Encounters of the Third kind, where I'm talking about intelligent, sentient life somehow.
I think there is definitely intelligent life somewhere. I don't think it's visited. I don't know if it's visited Earth. I don't think it has. There's the possibility, and maybe it's more advanced than we are, and I don't know about it. But I think that's a possibility. I don't think it's happened. I'm pretty sure that
I'm agnostic to that part. I firmly believe that with the amount of planets that are out there and moons and that kind of stuff, I'm sure that other intelligent life has developed to the point where it's technological based. Have they visited Earth? And you know, because the distances are so great that you have to travel faster than the speed of light to go anywhere. I mean, to get to Proxima Centauri, which is our closest star system that has planets and stuff on it, and I think they found a super Earth that's near there, which is like, 4 or 5 times the size of Earth. But it would take 80,000 years to get there.
Yeah. Well, they could have like invented some technology that like what is it called? Cryogenics or something?
Cryogenics, yeah.
So they could have invented something like that to get... I mean, I don't know why they would come here, but, you know.
To make it worthwhile, you have to go faster than light. You have to go FTL.
Yeah. Who knows?
And at least according to, from what I've heard about Einstein's revised theory of relativity, that the faster you go, the more density you get, or the heavier you get, the faster you... So it's not possible with our current understanding of physics to go faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
So, you know, but they thought that at one point with the speed of sound, they thought we'd break apart. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we've got aircraft that go supersonic all the time, and there are some aircraft that go hypersonic. You know, what is it, Mach 6 or above?
Yeah.
So 6 times the speed of sound. And we've got some weapons that go more than 10 times the speed of sound. So, I mean, you know, that's moving.
It is. And we've sent particles at 99.9% the speed of light.
Have we?
Yeah. In the...
Is that CERN?
The Hadron Collider?
The Large Hadron Collider. That's CERN.
Yeah.
Wow, 99.9 the speed of light? Wow, that's amazing. I actually did not know that.
Yeah.
I know that they've gone really, really, really fast. I didn't know that they were almost the speed of light. That's amazing.
It is really amazing. It's tiny particles, but it's still really amazing.
And to think that the fucking Republican, idiot assholes is what I actually call them, didn't want to have it here in the United States, and we lost the bid. And France won. Fuck you guys.
It's probably for the best. Let's be honest.
You know, yeah.
Let's be really honest. But
yeah. But anyways, I heard people talking not too long ago on something else, and it really reminded me of what it was like when I was growing up in my church. And this is actually something I wanted to talk about. Was Ouija boards. And so there are people who are out there who honestly think and believe this with all of their heart that there are demons inside a Ouija board. And so that if you're communicating, if you're having fun with your friends, it's made by fucking Parker Brothers. Okay?
yeah,
You know, the game company, Parker Brothers makes I don't know, the board is probably cardboard, a foldable cardboard. The thing is a piece of plastic sitting on pieces of plastic with smoother pieces of plastic for legs, and then a glass thing or plastic thing in the center. So you and two friends push this thing around by the idiomotor effect and ask it stupid questions like, am I gonna hump that girl with the cross-eyed and the leg 2 inches shorter? Who knows? That's a reference to a George Carlin joke, by the way.
Okay.
So anyways, God, I'm sorry. I'm just cracking myself up now. But anyways, so you kind of push the board, push this little thing, and you don't realize you're doing it. And these people think, oh, you're pushing it? No, I'm not pushing it. No, you're pushing it. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. And so, you know, you don't realize you're freaking doing it, you know, and what was it? There was a movie, I think, something about that with a Ouija board, like maybe about 15 years ago, right around the early 2000-ish.
Oh, they have a bunch.
Yeah, I'm just saying, this is the one that I remember. Like 3 teenage girls playing with a Ouija board, and then the demon goes into one of them and like kills the other 2 or something. I don't know. But anyways, So this is the kind of shit, because they're scary movies, and because, you know, we have this, you know, this Christian shit that is so buried into our culture that allows movies like this to be made with the beliefs behind them that there's actually fucking demons inside these things, and you're talking with demons. You know, it's crap. It's the idiomotor effect. It's well reasoned, and it's been demonstrated many times with actually like studies and shit. And people can go fucking look them up. I'm not going to do your work for you. You have the goddamn Google with the entire wealth of human knowledge at your fingertips. Do some fucking research. Anyways, so I actually heard people saying, both in real life and recently hearing over the internet, that they were saying that you're talking with demons, and rubbing my forehead. You know,
maybe they're talking to their inner demons.
You know, we've all got a few of those. I mean, you know, I do. You know, we all do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, that self-doubt and some parts of self-loathing that we all have to some extent or another. But, you know, I'm just saying, but, you know, you know, you're talking about demons. And, you know, I remember, you know, people at my church saying Dungeons & Dragons was bad, and, you know, that you're casting spells and all that kind of shit, and going fireball and rolling 3d6 is not fucking casting a spell.
Yeah, all that shit's bullshit. Like, the people saying all that stuff. Like, you can't watch Harry Potter because it's witchcraft and all that. Like, that's what they were saying when I was growing up. It's complete bullshit.
Oh, I remember hearing about the Harry Potter too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was, I not directly, but, you know, it's like, you know, you hear stuff about, you know, pastor says Harry Potter's witchcraft. well, I expected it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at that time when the Harry Potter books were coming out, I was still a societal Christian. And I was still marginally in touch with some of the people who were attached to my church. So I kind of got the idea. And yeah, so they were saying something vaguely Latin sounding, or what was it?
Yeah.
The movie that came out, Magical Creatures and all that kind of stuff. So they said Aloha Mora, trying to open a door, and then they said Aberto, which is Spanish for open. You know what I'm saying? So instead of saying it in English, I said it in Spanish. And then it's the same fucking word. It's just one's in a different language,
Yeah.
So,
funny.
Yeah, it is funny. It's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just saying is that there's no such thing as the fucking supernatural. And so you get people, who say that ghosts are real and I've seen ghosts and that kind of stuff. Okay, well, maybe you're susceptible to some form of hallucination. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, especially in times of crisis, when you might have a loved one pass away really recently. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not in a completely coherent state. You're distraught because, well, somebody died, and that's perfectly natural.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that I necessarily believe in ghosts, but, I believe there are things that can make... I don't know how to describe it. I don't know. I believe in, bad places where bad things have happened. I believe I don't want to hang out there. I believe there's
but if you... okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know, bad energy, bad something. I don't know what to say, but I can tell you, I would not spend the night where hundreds of people were murdered or something awful. That would just be terrifying and freak me out.
I kind of see what you're saying. Do you know what I'm saying? At least as far as on a human level, but on a perfectly logical, rational nature, there's no such thing as ghosts and all that kind of stuff. So, would I want to stay in Auschwitz? Spend the night there? No, because it was a place of horrifying torture. But I don't believe ghosts walk in Auschwitz. No. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, all those people who were there, are long gone in many forms of that word, of that phrase. So,
yeah, but I think maybe it's just something because we know bad things that happen there, right? So anything that happens, any movement, any sound, our brains would attribute to that. Even if we're perfectly logical, I feel like human emotions would end up taking over, and I think that's why a lot of people believe in ghosts and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that really plays more with our lizard brain than it does with our more rational selves. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're more keyed to fight or flight than when we would normally be. You're in an old place. It's kind of creepy. You know what I'm saying? That's because it's fucking run down and not in good shape. And beams and timbers might be moving a little bit because of relative humidity. You know what I'm saying? So they might be expanding or contracting. And so our brain thinks, is somebody outside the door? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it was there was this picture that I was shown, and it was this beautiful old house, and they're would you stay in here for $1 million or something like that? I'm like, fuck yeah. And then I take the $1 million, fix it up, and have a gorgeous old school house. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, because there's nothing there. I'd be more worried about somebody breaking in and harming me. You know what I'm saying? While it was still marginally unsecured. I'd be more worried about that. I'd be more worried about being bitten by a rat and catching some fucking disease or something.
Yeah.
So, or falling through a floorboard, you know? I mean, that, you know, and then getting tetanus or something. I don't know. I'd be more worried about that than actually being harmed by a demon. Because there's no such fucking thing.
How do you feel about deja vu?
You know, that's interesting, because I think that in the past I thought I'd had that, and that's just your mind playing tricks on you because you've done something so many times before, or you know what I'm saying, or maybe you've been someplace before you didn't realize you were, so you're like, whoa. Or it also just could be a feeling if you've never been to a particular place and your mind is telling you something that didn't actually happen. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a mirage, but mentally.
Yeah, so, like, I experience deja vu. I'm not going to say frequently, but, like, kind of sometimes. And so most of my deja vu, it will be, I have really vivid dreams all the time. So most of my deja vu is like, I had a dream about this place or this person, and I had never seen them before or been there before, and then like the deja vu happens, and it's really weird. It might be just a trick of the mind or something, but I'm telling you, it feels really real to me. So it's pretty cool.
It does, and that's the point, is because you're trying to see it through the lens of your mind that is fucking with you. And so I had a thing of deja vu that was happening to me maybe about 6 months ago while I was at work. And it's a funky feeling while you're in it. And then I try to do something unexpected. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm at work, I do a particular set of actions, and I always walk in a certain area because it's part of my job. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I'm going to the bathroom, so I walk past this piece of equipment because I walk past that piece of equipment in that way 30 times a night.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I'll do something, you know, like I'll go to walk past it and I'll turn around and go the opposite way just to break it because I know it's my mind fucking with me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're trying to see through your mind that's fucking with you at the same time. And that's hard to break. You know, it's like that beautiful mind thing. You know what I'm saying? He knew he was experiencing hallucinations, but he was trying to break them at the same time through a mind that was trying to get him to see hallucinations.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, our brains aren't always the most rational. Do you know what I'm saying? And so we've got to realize that when it comes to a deja vu experience, that you're not. Your mind may be fucking with you, or you may have done something the exact same way 50 times, and it's just, whoa, no, it's not. Deja vu is not real.
I don't know.
That honestly was one of the hardest ones for me to break, for me to realize, yeah, this is crap.
So I've heard this really interesting theory that deja vu is like when you've experienced something in a parallel universe or something like that. And I think that's pretty awesome sounding. Like, I don't know if it's real, and obviously we can't really prove anything like that right now, but I think it's really interesting.
Huh.
Because I think there's a lot of scientific theories, and there's like room for like actual evidence at some point that parallel universes and the multiverse exist, and there's a bunch of theories for it, and I find them really fascinating. So it's definitely plausible. Not provable right now, but plausible.
Because you know when you feel deja vu. Iron Maiden.
Lovely.
Thank you. Sorry. I'd forgotten how long the intro was. So yeah, I'm sorry. That just really kind of occurred over to me.
That was beautiful.
Let's go ride bikes. So, anyways, is there anything in particular that you want to talk about? Considering I think it's just all bunk.
You know, I don't know. I don't think it's all. I think there's reasoning behind it, and I think a lot of it is just human experience and needing something to explain what's happening, especially in the past. Speaking of, I watched a movie recently called Clown, or The Clown. I think it's just called Clown. It's on Netflix.
Clowns are fucking creepy.
Clowns are creepy as fuck, bro. But okay, so this movie, it's so good. I did not expect it to be good when I clicked on it, but it was actually amazing. So basically, this guy, his son wants to have a birthday party, and they had a clown coming to do like entertainment, but the clown like couldn't show up. And then the dad's a realtor, and he was going through this old house, and he found a clown costume, and he was like, "Oh, I could dress up as a clown for my son."
Oh, so don't tell me he got possessed by the spirit of a dead clown or something stupid.
So, well, he puts the clown costume on, right? And then he celebrates his son's birthday party, and he's fine. But then he can't take the fucking costume off because it's just like it won't come off. Like, he takes like a fucking saw to it. He tries to take a knife to it. He ends up slitting his own wrist and has to fix that. It won't come off at all. And like the clown nose won't come off. He has it like surgically removed, and then it's like takes off the whole tip of his nose. The wig he put on starts becoming his real hair. So it's like really fucking crazy, right? Anyway,
Killer Clowns from Outer Space was a good movie though for what it was. That movie was actually kind of funny. Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry.
But so basically he's like, this costume is taking over his body. He finds a guy that that used to own this costume and talks to him about what the fuck is up with it. And he's like, actually, so this clown costume is a demon. It's a Yao Guai, and this is the skin of the demon. And you put the clown skin on, or the demon skin on. It's like in the shape of a clown costume. And it talks about how like the whole old traditional view of clowns, and they're like, clowns are actually used to be just like terrifying beasts, and they were demons, and they looked like this. And then eventually people started making them into like funny things, and the old version was forgotten. But this is like the costume, and it's the skin of the demon, and when you put it on, the demon demands 5 children. Like, it has to consume 5 children before it will let you go. And this fucker eats 4 kids, right? 4 kids. He only needs 1 more, but before the end. And the only way to get rid of the demon is to eat the last kid or have his head cut off. And by this point, he's fully possessed by the demon, so he's not really there. And then his wife ends up cutting his head off instead of letting him eat another kid. And I was just like, really? It was only 1 more kid. Come on.
You know? Wow.
Yeah, it was actually really good. I recommend it. And it had an actor I really like in it. But anyway, it was pretty terrifying.
Yeah. But
that's why I was talking to you earlier about the Yao Guai, because
okay.
I watched that movie recently, and that's the Yao Guai is a Chinese thing, but I looked it up, and there's a yokai, which is a Japanese similar version, but the Yao Guai is definitely much more demonic than the yokai.
Yeah, well, according to my wife Sachi, what she said is that he said that the yokai can be either friendly or ambivalent or evil depending on the yokai. So they're not always bad. They're not always good either. So it depends on what it is. It's kind of like, you know, the demon of this or the yokai of that. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different things can be yokai.
Yeah. I just found it really interesting.
That's pretty cool. I still believe it's all crap, but yeah, that's pretty cool. It's the same thing now when we got like all this stuff about zombies and the zombie apocalypse and all that kind of stuff. For one, it's impossible to have a zombie apocalypse. It's just not going to happen. There is nothing that can make dead flesh get up and fucking walk around. It's just not possible. and especially go after people. This is old people, you know what I'm saying, from like a long time ago, because what was it, mentions zombies in the Bible, where the reason why the wall was built around Jerusalem was to keep the Christian zombies from taking over. What was it? When Jesus died in one of the Testaments, I don't remember what, I think it might have been in Luke, when the temple garment tore, which separated the outer temple from the inner temple, the Holy of Holies, that when the moment of Jesus' death, I think it was in Luke, but anyways, when that garment tore, that curtain tore, that supposedly like some zombies walked around in Jerusalem. Yeah, well, nobody ever mentioned that. You figured that would at least be something of worth of interest that somebody might want to consider writing down somewhere, but it's never mentioned anywhere else other than in the Bible and just in that one chapter, the one time. So, I'm just saying, I mean, the idea of zombies getting up and running around is fucking stupid. So, but, we've gotten some pretty cool entertainment. A lot of people like the end of the world entertainment with, was it World War Z and The Walking Dead and The Living Dead and all of those movies and TV shows. And yeah, they're great entertainment, but none of that could actually really happen.
I think, first off, I love those kind of entertainment things. I think they're great. I think
they're fucking creepy on a whole bunch of levels, and I think it's stupid.
I don't know. I mean, I can see why some people would think it's stupid, but also I really like it because, like, basically I want to be surviving at the end of the world. I want to save the world. I want to, like, fix it. I want to do that now with the world we have now. So I love it, but I do think that a modified version of a zombie apocalypse could happen. Like, and obviously, like, some kind of awful sickness could come about, and first, it could just outright kill us, or second, it could, like, take over our brains, like modify them to where we don't have capacity to, like, use them, or it can make us super aggressive. And while we're not dead, but we could just be, like, wanting to kill each other for some reason.
Oh, pandemics are incredibly possible. I mean, I've got a game on my Xbox One that's about a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And it's literally, the game is about pandemics. I don't remember what it's called. And one of them is like the Planet of the Apes, where you're trying to do two things at one time. You're trying to kill off humans and also make the apes smarter.
Oh my god!
Yeah. And then there's another one where you're trying to spread the happiness germ, because humanity is just so down. And so it's like Christmas or something like that. It's like you give presents, and the people who get presents give them, and that spreads the happiness germ, and that kind of stuff. So you're not trying to kill humanity, you're trying to make everybody happy. And of course, in the game, the status quo is they're trying to kill the happiness germ. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but yeah, I don't remember what the name of the game is called, but it's like the only one that does that. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but it's a really cool game. I actually think I downloaded it for like really cheap. I think it was less than $10. I mean, it was a really inexpensive game, and it's really pretty cool. And it's fucking horrifying how easy pandemics can spread. And they talk about the flu of 1918 that killed like 20 million people on top about what was going on in World War I. So, pandemics are entirely possible, but to have the living dead walk around, and you and I both play Dungeons & Dragons, and so, we fight the dead all the time in the game. But I just don't think it's possible. I mean, it's a great storytelling device, but it's absolutely just not possible.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible. But anyway, speaking of Planet of the Apes, I don't know if you've seen, like, any of the new ones.
I haven't seen the new one that just came out last weekend. Not yet.
Okay,
but
so I went to see that one. I went to see that one, and oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. But it really got me thinking. It was like super intriguing. I don't know if this is a spoiler. It's like, it's not really, but it's like a tiny plot point. I don't know. Are you going to be mad if I say it?
No.
Okay, so basically, obviously the apes have gotten really smart, and they've gotten smarter. So that's not new. But kind of new in this one is humans are getting dumber. Like, there's this virus spreading, like the virus mutated, and now it's making humanity dumber. And they're getting more primitive. And that was just such an intriguing plot point for me, because I was thinking, like, I mean, it would be sad for humanity to, like, not be humanity anymore, but it's not like we're losing an intelligent species. We've gained a new intelligent species, and it's on planet Earth. And, like, how mad would I be about that? Like, it would just be so interesting.
Well, what was it? I actually saw somewhere that some colonies actually may be smart enough to be effectively cavemen. I don't know how true that is, but, you know, they're like at cavemen or like right before it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean,
because we know that dolphins are actually almost as smart as people, but they're so specialized and that they can never advance any farther. Does that make sense? Because they're absolutely adapted to the ocean environment. And even though they're probably as close to as smart as people, because they don't have use of hands, and they can make vocalizations, and they can actually communicate with those vocalizations, that they can't go any farther because they're so specialized. So, but I'm just saying, I mean, but that's like a way off point. But anyways, yeah, so I just don't think it's absolutely possible for zombies and shit to fucking happen. It's another one of those things that we as entertainment can consume, and it's great if you enjoy that kind of stuff. I actually don't particularly go much for the zombie movies and all that kind of stuff. I just don't find them entertaining. It's scaring people for scaring people, and I'm just not into that kind of entertainment. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally down.
Those things that it's all just bullshit.
I'm totally down for, like, a good, like, it has to have, like, a good storyline. I'm not into just, like, violence for no reason, but I'm totally down for a good horror movie with a good storyline.
And that's the thing, though, is, like, a lot of horror movies and all that kind of stuff depend on supernatural.
Well, I like it. I like it.
Well, I'm just saying, I can enjoy a movie for enjoying the movie. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, much more frightening are the movies like Saw and that kind of stuff, because it's not supernaturally based. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is, I will agree with that.
Those are way more horrifying than, what is it? You know, they're here. Way more horrifying than shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just think that, man, and there are movies that I actually really like. What was the Keanu Reeves movie where he plays a demon fighter? It's an old movie. I'm trying to think of what Rachel Weisz plays in the movie. She plays a cop whose sister killed herself and that kind of stuff, and he's a demon fighter and that kind of stuff. Anyways, I enjoyed that movie. Even, you know, I got to admit, watching Keanu Reeves movies, he's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. His movies are bad. They really are, but I really enjoy them. I really enjoy them for what they are. And I like that movie. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's about angels and demons, and they're fighting here on Earth, and they're trying to maintain the balance. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a crap premise because none of it's real. And another guilty pleasure, and I got to admit my wife got me into it, is the TV show Supernatural. I just enjoy it, you know, because of the interaction between the characters and that kind of stuff. And it's all fucking crap. But I kind of like how they reimagined a lot of the stuff. It got a little heavy-handed with the Christianity stuff kind of in the middle, but it wasn't kind of what you think. It was Christianity, but different. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they almost had an Armageddon and all kinds of stuff. But, I mean, some people really don't like the show, and I can see why. But I enjoy it because I actually think it's fairly decent camp drama, and sometimes I actually kind of like it. So, but the entire premise of the show is crap.
Yeah. So, this week, I have a Mad Lib for you.
Yay! Okay, let me see if I can calibrate my brain to give you something.
Okay, this one, I think it seems a little bit weird, but we're going to try it. I need a last name.
Oh,
This is
Schmidt.
the first one.
Schmidt.
Okay, I need another last name. Sorry.
Jingleheimer.
Jingleheimer. Make me spell this shit.
Jingleheimer Schmidt. His name is my name too.
I need a body part.
Oh man, a body part?
Yeah, like penis or something?
No, I was appendix.
Appendix? Name of a town.
Chicago.
Chicago.
My hometown, that toddling town, Chicago town.
Okay, this is a weird one. I need a Jewish last name.
Bosnick.
Boston. Great. I need a noun.
Telephone pole.
Telephone pole. Oh my god. I need a substance.
Substance. Olive oil.
Olive oil. I need another substance.
Gasoline.
Gasoline. I need a French phrase.
Sacre bleu.
How the fuck? Sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu. It's kind of like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Fuck
I don't know how
your
to.
god.
I don't know how to spell that though. Noun.
Cabinet.
Cabinet. An animal.
Kitty.
Kitty. A name you would give to a pet.
Sammy.
Sammy. A medieval weapon.
The halberd.
Halberd. An article of clothing, plural.
Thongs.
Tongs. A noun.
Oh man. Dildo.
Dildo. Great. Always gotta bring that in. A building material.
Stone.
Stone. A noun.
A noun. Okay. A cup.
A cup. A liquid.
Whiskey.
Whiskey. Article of clothing.
Ball gag.
Ball gag? Is that... Sure.
No.
Sure.
Chaps.
No.
Okay.
Chaps. Well, we need another article of clothing so we can keep ball gag and have chaps.
Awesome.
Great. An insulting name, i.e. loser, idiot, etc.
Dillhole.
Dillhole. A foreign word meaning friend.
Domodachi. That's Japanese.
Domodachi.
Domodachi.
Great.
Sorry.
No, it's good. A type of adhesive.
Super glue.
Super glue. A monster.
Beholder.
Ooh, I love those. And last one, another monster.
Kobold.
Kobold. Awesome. Very Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, here we go. Okay. Schmidt, Matthews, and Jingleheimer Farquhar were close friends. They met in a playgroup when they were only 3 and had been inseparable ever since. Some people said they were attached at the appendix. Schmidt and Jingleheimer were 16 years old, a little too old to be trick-or-treating, but not too old to enjoy the taste of candy. Once a year on Halloween, they would dress in their finest costumes and roam the streets of Chicago in the ever-bold pursuit of the late-night sugar buzz. The night before Halloween was also a favorable time for Schmidt and Jingleheimer. Each Devil's Night, they pulled an escalating array of vandalism and pranks. They had always wanted to mess with the eccentric neighbor, Wilbur Bosnick, who was well into his 80s. They had a whole list of horrors planned, from setting fire to his prized outdoor telephone pole collection to burning a bag of olive oil on his front porch. They had other mischievous things up their sleeves, like marking his windows with bars of gasoline and decorating his trees with toilet paper. The most horrific thing they had planned, their sacre bleu, so to speak, was attached to a cabinet. Was attaching a cabinet to Mr. Bosnick's pet kitty, Sammy, and launching him onto the roof of the house with a halberd. They weren't nice young men at all. Fate has a way of punishing those who need to be punished. An elderly Mr. Bosnick had a few tricks of his own planned. The pranksters dressed in black thongs, complete with gloves and nylon dildos over their heads.
Unicorns!
They loaded a plastic grocery bag with olive oil and gasoline, a few dozen eggs, some toilet paper, and a stone cup. Using the stone cup wasn't part of their original plan, but they thought it would be good to use. They pulled up to the Bosnick estate shortly after midnight. Schmidt was the first to exit the car. He placed a bag of olive oil on the porch and attempted to light it with a match. It didn't ignite. Cursing softly, he attempted another match. Still no flame. Schmidt tossed the matchbook aside and took a flask of whiskey out of his ball gag pocket. He poured it over the bag and lit another match. Soon the bag was burning like wild, and the orange flames were curling upward. He retreated behind a private hedge near the house. Mr. Bosnick peered out of the front door, laughing maniacally, then closed the door. The two hooligans looked at each other confused. Shrugging their shoulders, they commenced to throwing the eggs and other stuff they had planned. Why isn't Mr. Bosnick reacting? Schmidt thought to himself. They waited until the bag of olive oil was burned to a cinder. Then Jingleheimer went up to the dark porch and knocked on the door. He ran away as soon as he heard footsteps. The two boys waited in the bush, suppressing their giggles. The door finally opened, and the homeowner peeked out. He was grinning stupidly, and withdrew from the doorway, leaving it slightly open. "What's that old dill hole up to?" asked Schmidt. "I don't know, but it's pretty creepy," stammered Jingleheimer. They waited for what seemed like hours when they saw a light come on through the kitchen window. They saw an old man's silhouette sit in the chair, supposedly having a cup of tea. "Cool. Let's cabinet up this kitty and toss him on the roof," squealed Schmidt. "I couldn't agree more, Domodachi," replied Jingleheimer as he grabbed the screeching kitty. They were struggling with the tube of superglue when they heard a noise behind... This is awful. When they heard a noise behind them. "Well, what was that?" whispered Schmidt. "I don't know, dude, but I seriously want to get out of here." Just then, a beholder burst out from the bush and began advancing toward them. The boys screamed and ran away, but the beholder was way too fast for them. It soon caught up to the smaller one and tore at the punk's thongs with its long, sharp claws. Oh my god.
Beholders don't have claws, but they do have some razor-sharp teeth.
They do. Jingleheimer was able to run a bit farther until a kobold slithered across the road in front of him and grabbed his legs, forcing him to the ground.
That'd be about right. They trip and shit, yeah.
Yeah, the beholder and the kobold dragged the two screaming, frightened boys back to the old man's house and settled them on the front steps of the huge manor. The horrid monsters tied the boys together and duct taped the cabinet they had planned using on the kitty to the top of their heads. They then took the halberd out of the grocery bag and launched the boys to the top of the mansion roof. Mr. Bosnick appeared at the eve of the house, huffing and puffing. He had climbed a tall ladder to get there and was rather winded. "So now, you little brats, tell me why you were vandalizing my house." Schmidt was so scared he crapped his chaps. That's so good. "I'll tell you what," the old man continued. "If y'all will eat some of that stuff you burned on my porch, I won't let my friends here kill you." "Anything, sir," squeaked the boy, who hadn't soiled himself. So the boys enjoyed a nice steaming plate of olive oil, and the old man's son and daughter took off their masks to reveal who they really were. They all shared a good laugh, except for Schmidt and Jingleheimer. After everyone safely left the roof, Mr. Bosnick had a wonderful visit with his kids and enjoyed the rest of his holiday. The boys never pulled another prank like this again, at least on Mr. Bosnick.
That's not bad. It ended pretty good.
It's good. It's good. I liked it. All right. I like crapped his chaps. I think that's just the best.
That one, I think, is probably the best line of all. He crapped his chaps. You know, by definition, all chaps are assless. So it's still pretty funny, though.
I like it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, as we were saying before, I think in the first part, when the episode started, that we got a bunch of guests lined up. 2, 3 guests in a row lined up. So we'll be pretty busy with some guests for the next couple of weeks. But yeah, then maybe we'll get back to a couple of episodes by ourselves. But yeah, I'm really excited for these guests coming up, really. I really am. Seriously.
Yeah, I am too. We also have a repeat guest that I'm super excited about.
Yay.
Also, we appeared on Molly on Mormon's podcast, Doubting Dogma. And
yes, we did.
That link on Facebook, I think. But if you didn't see it, you should definitely go check it out because we talk a lot about dildos, particularly
yes,
of
we do.
cactus variety.
Yes, we did. Have we gotten any iTunes reviews?
Not since I last checked, but I'm telling you guys, if you listen to this on iTunes, you need to leave a review, even if it says you suck, but just make sure it's 5 stars, and we'll thank you on the show.
Yeah. And please, we've been talking this for a while. Doing this show isn't free. Even though we give it away for free, we actually have expenses, and we would actually like to have those covered at some point. Those literally are coming out of my pocket.
And mine, gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, both of ours. So, getting, hell, even a $1, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so just to reiterate, we have a Patreon page. It's www.patreon.com/OAF, and we have some pretty cool rewards. So the $1 for every episode, it will have us say thank you. But if you do the $3 per episode and you stick with us for a couple months, I'll draw you a sweet-ass picture. It might even be a fucking dildo. You never know.
Maybe.
Yeah, you should do that. And then a $5 reward, you can suggest a topic for the show, and if we really like you, we might have you guest spot on for a little bit. So, hardcore, go over to our Patreon page, support us. We really appreciate it.
No, we don't have any You Suck, but Sal Magnifico said, after our last few episodes, the podcast has become really well done and amazing. I particularly enjoyed the episode with guests 3, 6, and 7. The dynamic between the two hosts is really a bit of odd couple, which should serve the show going forward. No lack of swear words and a few anecdotes in the military. So thank you, Sal. We appreciate it, and especially appreciate the 5-star.
Yeah, thanks so much.
So I think that's it for today. And next week we are going to have our next guest, our first repeat guest. So looking super forward to that. Really super forward to that.
Yeah, we're going to leave you hanging until next week. We're not telling you who it is. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Odd Atheist Friends podcasts. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please contact via email at oddatheistfriends@gmail.com or message us on Facebook at facebook.com/OAF podcast. We now have Twitter. Please follow us there at OAF podcast. Don't forget to support us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/OAF. This is Matthew and Erik of the Odd Atheist Friends podcast. Have a great and godless day.